a shrill metallic bell rings out, shattering the midday tropical heat. On the wooden planks of a bridge spanning a deep ocean channel, pedestrians suddenly begin to run. Mothers grab their children's hands, and daily commuters quicken their pace, desperate to reach the other side before the ground beneath them begins to move. Slowly, with a low mechanical rumble, the entire 167-meter wooden structure begins to swing. It does not lift upward into the sky like a conventional drawbridge. Powered by diesel engines and perpendicular ship propellers, it floats directly on the waves, pivoting parallel to the shore to allow a massive oil tanker to glide into the natural harbor. This is the Queen Emma Pontoon Bridge, affectionately known to locals as the Swinging Old Lady, and it is the heartbeat of one of the most forgotten, paradoxical corners of the earth. Look beyond the bridge, and the eyes are met with rows of historic Dutch colonial gables painted in brilliant shades of yellow, pink, and cobalt blue. It looks like a postcard from Amsterdam, but the cold North Sea is nowhere to be found. Instead, these vibrant facades overlook a bone-dry, wind-swept desert rock rising from the southern reaches of the Caribbean Sea, just 40 miles off the coast of Venezuela. This is Curaçao, an island home to over 155,000 people, yet defined by a striking environmental contradiction. For most, the Caribbean conjures images of luxurious rainforests, humid jungles, and endless freshwater streams. But Curaçao rejects this stereotype entirely. It is an arid landscape of red clay, towering prickly pear cacti, and wind-sculpted divvy trees. The blistering sun beats down year-round, and the island receives a meager 570 millimeters of rain annually, far too little to support natural agriculture or sustain a major population. For centuries, European empires fought bitter wars over this tiny territory, only to realize that its soil was too hostile to cultivate cash crops. It is an island where survival cannot be taken for granted. It must be engineered, manufactured, and fought for day after day. This is the ultimate paradox of Curaçao. How did a hyper-vibrant, European-style city rise and flourish on a barren rock where even the goats refuse to eat the local wild fruit? How does a modern society thrive in a place with virtually no natural fresh water, where every drop of drinking water must be pulled directly from the salt of the sea? It is a question that forces us to look past the beautiful tourist resorts and peer into the deep, heavy layers of history, geography, and human resilience that define this forgotten island. Could you build a life on an island of salt and thorns? If you are ready for this epic journey, drop a comment telling me where in the world you are watching from. Hit the like button, subscribe to Vast Earth, and turn on notifications so you never miss more of our upcoming videos. Let us cross the swinging bridge and discover how this miracle of human survival was built. To truly understand how human life endures on this barren rock, one must first look at the silent, invisible crisis that has haunted the island for half a millennium: water. Curaçao is exceptionally dry, receiving an average of just 570 millimeters of rain per year. Because it sits in a hot desert climate zone, the intense Caribbean sun immediately evaporates whatever moisture manages to hit the parched soil. In the early centuries of colonization, survival was a daily gamble. early inhabitants relied on fragile cisterns or brackish wells. A dry season brought starvation. Yet, if a traveler turns on a faucet anywhere on the island today, they are met with drinking water of such pristine quality that it exceeds the most rigorous standards of the World Health Organization. This is not a miracle of nature. It is a monument to human engineering. In 1928, Curaçao became a global pioneer, establishing one of the world's very first seawater desalination facilities. Today, the government utility Aqualectra pulls raw seawater directly from the ocean, forcing it under immense pressure through advanced reverse osmosis membranes to strip away salt, bacteria, and impurities. But this water is too pure, devoid of taste or essential minerals. To make it fit for consumption, engineers reintroduce calcium and disinfect it with ultraviolet light. This energy-intensive process reminds residents of the cost of survival. For those watching, has one ever lived in a place where the very water consumed must be manufactured from the sea, or is the effortless flow of a home's tap taken for granted? Share those thoughts in the comments below. While the utility plants silently manufacture the island's water, another mechanical marvel dominates the surface of Willemstad, the Queen Emma Pontoon Bridge. For centuries, St. Anna Bay split the capital in two, separating the quarters of Punda and Otrabanda. Before the bridge, the only way to cross was by Yola's small, unstable wooden ferries that charged a toll to navigate the deep, shark-infested channel. The solution came in 1886 from Leonard Burlington Smith, the American consul to Curaçao. An experienced sailor and businessman, Smith designed a brilliant floating bridge supported by 16 wooden pontoons. Hinged at one end, the entire 167-meter structure could swing completely parallel to the shore, powered by diesel engines turning perpendicular ship propellers. When the bridge opened in 1888, it introduced a bizarre social experiment: the barefoot toll. To fund maintenance, Smith instituted a toll of 2 cents for anyone wearing shoes, while allowing barefoot pedestrians to cross for free. This sparked an unexpected psychological game. Wealthy citizens, desperate to save pennies, would conspicuously remove their leather shoes and walk across the wooden planks barefoot. Conversely, impoverished residents saved their money, put on shoes, and proudly paid the toll to assert their dignity. If standing on that bridge in 1910, would personal pride or thrift win? Let us know in the comments what this reveals about human nature. The light-hearted legacy of the pontoon bridge is balanced by a dark tragedy that looms over the harbor. As the 20th century progressed and automobiles flooded the island, the floating bridge could no longer handle the traffic. The government began constructing the Queen Juliana Bridge, a massive fixed highway arch soaring nearly 60 meters above the bay. But in 1967, a catastrophic engineering failure caused the unfinished steel span to collapse into the water, instantly killing 15 workers. When the bridge was finally completed and opened in 1974, it permanently diverted motor vehicles, leaving the beloved swinging old lady as a peaceful sanctuary for pedestrians to watch the sunset over the sea. If one leaves the pastel-colored streets of Willemstad and journeys toward the heart of the island, the landscape shifts dramatically. The colonial architecture dissolves into the Mondi, the wild, rugged countryside dominated by dry, dusty soils, sprawling acacia trees, and a vast army of towering cacti. In this unforgiving environment, every living thing must adapt or perish. It was this harsh reality that defeated the island's first European colonizers. When Spanish explorers stepped onto these shores shortly after 1499, they envisioned transforming this territory into a thriving agricultural empire. In 1527, a Spaniard named Pérez Maestre arrived with carefully preserved seeds of the prized Spanish Valencia orange, hoping to cultivate vast, sweet groves. But they had severely underestimated the raw, unrelenting power of the southern Caribbean sun. The soil was too poor and the fresh water too scarce. While the trees managed to survive, the sweet, juicy Valencia orange underwent a bizarre botanical mutation. The intense heat and lack of water stripped the fruit of its sugar and moisture. It shriveled into a hard, green, bitter dwarf of its former self. The flesh became so intensely sour and unpalatable that even the island's feral, iron-stomached goats refused to touch them. Defeated, the Spanish abandoned their orchards, leaving the trees to grow wild, forgotten, and mocked as useless misfits of colonial ambition. Have you ever set out with a grand plan, only to watch it wither under the harsh realities of life? How did you pivot? Tell me your story of resilience in the comments. It is in these shared human struggles that we find our deepest connections. For decades, these mutated trees remained abandoned, but nature's adaptations often carry a hidden purpose, waiting for the right moment of human curiosity. Planters eventually discovered that while the flesh of this new bitter orange, which would receive the botanical name Citrus aurantium curaçaoviensis, or simply the laraja, was completely worthless, its sun-dried peels contained an extraordinary treasure. When dried thoroughly under the sizzling sun, the thick skins of the laraja released a highly concentrated, intensely aromatic etheric oil. In 1896, two local entrepreneurs, Edgar Sr. and Jaime Mendez Chumacero, who operated a drugstore called Botica Excelsior, began experimenting with these discarded peels. They realized that by soaking the dried laraja skins in alcohol and water and distilling them in a traditional copper kettle with secret spices, they could create a clear, intensely fragrant liqueur. This was the birth of the genuine Curaçao liqueur. In 1947, Senior & Co. moved their operations to the historic Landhuis Chobolobo, a yellow country manor where the distillation is still done by hand to this day, using a historic 120-year-old copper still. Although the distilled liqueur is naturally colorless, the producers made a genius marketing decision. They began dyeing the liquid a brilliant, impossible blue, the precise shade of the pristine Caribbean Sea that frames the island's shores. This artificial blue became a global sensation, turning a bitter, failed crop into a world-famous icon of tropical paradise. If you have ever tasted a cocktail featuring Blue Curaçao, you were sipping on the distilled history of human adaptation on a desert rock. Have you ever tasted this legendary liqueur, or did you know it originated from a failed Spanish orange? Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and share this video with a friend who loves history and a good drink. The story of Curaçao, however, is not just one of botanical triumph. It is also a story written in blood and chains, which we will uncover next. The vibrant, postcard-perfect facades of Willemstad's waterfront, with their cheerful yellow and pink walls, carry a silent, heavy weight. Beneath the colorful paint lies a dark and somber history. To understand the soul of this desert rock, one must peer into the deep shadows cast by the Dutch West India Company. In 1634, Dutch forces seized Curaçao from Spain, immediately recognizing that the island's arid soil made traditional farming highly unprofitable. However, they discovered a different, far more valuable asset: St. Anna Bay, one of the finest and most strategic natural harbors in the Caribbean. Willemstad was declared a free port in 1675, transforming the island into a primary transatlantic slave depot. For nearly 2 centuries, thousands of African men, women, and children captured from Gambia and Ghana were brought to these docks in chains. They were auctioned off to plantations across the Americas. The island became a highly efficient machine of human exploitation, built on a foundation of systematic cruelty. But the human spirit possesses an extraordinary capacity to endure, and on the 17th of August, 1795, the machine of oppression fractured. On the Canepa plantation, in the rugged western hills of Bandaboo, an enslaved field laborer named Tula refused to go to work. Tula was not merely a laborer, he was an articulate thinker and a brilliant strategist. Through sailors passing through the ports, he had learned of the Haitian Revolution and the French National Assembly's Declaration of the Rights of Man. He knew that the Netherlands was now occupied by revolutionary France, which had abolished slavery. Confronting his master, Caspar Lodewijk van Utrecht, Tula calmly announced that they would no longer serve as slaves. He led an uprising of 40 to 50 people, freeing 22 prisoners from the jail at Lagoon and rallying hundreds of others to join the fight. The colonial government, panicked by the scale of the uprising, sent a Catholic priest, Father Jacobus Schink, to negotiate and persuade the rebels to surrender. The recorded dialogue between Tula and the priest, preserved in the government archives, remains one of the most chillingly poetic declarations of human dignity. Tula looked at the priest and asked, "Sir, Father, do not all people stem from a common father, Adam and Eve? Did I do wrong by releasing my brothers from their confinement?" He pointed out the blatant hypocrisy of the European powers, stating that since the French had gained their freedom, the enslaved must also be free on Curaçao. Have you ever had to stand up for what was right when the odds were completely stacked against you? How did you find the courage to speak truth to power? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your stories of bravery inspire us all. For over a month, Tula and his army fought a desperate, asymmetrical war against the colonial militia, seeking refuge in the dramatic limestone cliffs of Watamula. Though they fought with immense bravery, they were ultimately betrayed, captured, and overwhelmed. On the 3rd of October 1795, on the rocky shores of Rif in Otrabanda, Tula was executed. Yet, their sacrifice was not in vain. The rebellion shattered the illusion of colonial security, forcing the government to grant limited rights to the enslaved, eventually leading to the abolition of the slave trade in 1814 and full emancipation on the 1st of July 1863. Today, Tula is revered as a national hero. If you are moved by Tula's incredible fight for dignity, please hit the like button and share this video. How should societies remember places of great historical trauma? Should they be preserved as monuments, or is it better to look forward? Let's discuss this in the comments as we prepare to see how these historical scars shaped the modern reality of the island. To step onto the dust-choked roads of Curaçao is to realize that the vibrant colors of Willemstad are only half the story. To To truly understand how people live here, one must listen to the words they speak when the tourists are not around. Papiamentu is more than a local dialect. It is a living, breathing code of survival. Born in the shadows of the 17th century within the slave depots of the Dutch West India Company, this language was forged as a linguistic shield. It is a brilliant, complex tapestry woven from Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch, English, and West African languages, designed so that the oppressed could communicate right in front of their masters without ever being understood. If you listen closely to the rhythm of its syllables, you can hear the ghosts of the island's past echoing in everyday speech. The Papiamentu word for forget, lubida, is a direct descendant of the Spanish olvidar. The word for a sharp thorn, sumpinha, traces back to the Portuguese espinho, and the word for a hem, zom, comes from the Dutch zoom. For centuries, colonial governments tried to suppress it, forcing Dutch as the only language of education and power. Yet Papiamentu survived clandestinely in the dark, whispered from generation to generation, until it finally became an official language of the island in 2007. Does your own native tongue or family history hold secret words or expressions that carry the struggles of those who came before you? Tell us about your linguistic heritage in the comments below. Let's celebrate the beautiful diversity of our global voices. While this linguistic shield protected the soul of the island, a massive industrial giant rose to dominate its physical landscape. In 1918, Royal Dutch Shell constructed a colossal oil refinery on the calm shores of the Kattegat Natural Harbour. For nearly a century, this facility was the undisputed cornerstone of the island's economy, drawing thousands of workers and immigrants from across the globe and even supplying the bulk of the fuel used by Allied forces to win World War II. It brought unprecedented wealth, transforming Curaçao into a modern hub, but it came at a terrible cost. The refinery pumped toxic emissions into the pristine Caribbean sky, creating a heavy cloud of pollution that degraded the health of generations of local residents. In 1985, as global oil markets shifted, Shell sold the aging, high-maintenance facility to the Curaçao government for a single symbolic guilder, who then leased it to Venezuela's state oil company, PDVSA. But by 2019, geopolitical turmoil, economic collapse, and international sanctions brought the machinery to a permanent halt. Today, when travelers fly into the island, they are met with a startling visual contrast. Standing right alongside the bright blue ocean is a massive, silent rust belt, a sprawling graveyard of abandoned metal tanks, rusted pipelines, and dead smokestacks. This industrial skeleton is a powerful reminder of how quickly the foundations of an economy can vanish. With the refinery silent, the island has pivoted almost entirely to tourism, which has exposed a stark internal divide. In the eastern district of Banda Arriba and the luxury enclave of Jan Thiel, wealthy travelers lounge at high-end beach clubs and private villas. But as you drive west past the airport, the landscape dramatically changes. You enter Bandabu, the rural, rugged west. Here, the roads are worn, stray dogs wander past crumbling plantation manors, and life slows down to a crawl. Because virtually all goods must be imported, the cost of daily life is staggeringly high, while local wages remain low. Electricity is a prized commodity, so expensive that running air conditioning is a luxury most families cannot afford, forcing them to rely on open wooden shutters and the trade winds to keep the desert heat at bay. Have you ever visited a destination where the barrier between tourist luxury and local reality felt this stark? How did it change your perspective? Let us know in the comments, hit the like button, and share this video with others as we prepare to see how the islanders turn these harsh, thorny realities into breathtaking art. Beyond the rusted structures of the industrial era and the stark economic divides of the land, Curaçao hides a natural and artistic wonder that defies the very definition of hostility. On the windswept northern coast, the shallow reef terrace drops off precipitously, just 60 meters from the shore, plunging into the deep, quiet abyss of the Caribbean Sea. Geologists call this dramatic feature the Blue Edge. It is a world of pristine coral ecosystems, towering tube sponges, and the legendary mushroom forest, a surreal underwater labyrinth of hard coral formations that resemble giant, ancient fungi. But it is back on dry land, amidst the dusty valleys of Landhuis Bloemhof, where the true spirit of human resilience is given its most breathtaking physical form. Here stands the Cathedral of Thorns, a monumental, building-sized artistic labyrinth designed by the visionary Dutch artist Herman van Bergen. This colossal structure is not built of marble or steel. It is constructed entirely by hand from millions of hostile, needle-sharp twigs of the Acacia tortuosa bush, locally known as the Sumpinha. To the islanders, the Sumpinha is a historical curse. It is a desert shrub that aggressively multiplies as the landscape dries out, a painful reminder of the ecological degradation left behind by European colonization. For centuries, these thorns were regarded as useless, dangerous hazards. Yet, Van Bergen saw something else. He saw the ultimate symbol of survival. Beginning in 2012, he collaborated with local foundations to employ uneducated, unemployed youth, giving them a vital second chance. Together, they gathered, sorted, and bound these hostile thorns, piece by piece, transforming a symbol of environmental destruction into a soaring cathedral of light and hope. The Cathedral of Thorns has no religious affiliation, yet it is deeply spiritual. Its walls are carved with intricate niches, featuring contemporary artworks by local artists, representing the shared capacity of humanity to transform pain into beauty. During the day, the Caribbean sun filters through the millions of interlocking thorns, casting soft, delicate shadows. But it is at night, when the interior lights are switched on, that the magic truly reveals itself. The hostile grey thorns glow with a warm golden radiance, turning a structure of pain into a beacon of sheer wonder. Much like the resilient communities clinging to the wind-swept cliffs of the Faroe Islands, or the cave dwellers surviving in the hidden crevices of the earth, the people of Curaçao have mastered the ultimate human art, making a home where the earth itself seems to say no. They have taken the very thorns of their suffering and turned them into light. Have you ever experienced a moment where something painful or difficult in your life was transformed into a source of strength, beauty, or wisdom? How did you navigate that difficult transition? Share your personal stories of transformation in the comments below. Your journey might be the exact source of hope someone else needs to read today. If this narrative is touching your heart, please take a brief moment to hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to see the beauty in the struggle, and make sure you are subscribed to Vast Earth. This philosophy of extracting beauty from struggle is encapsulated in a single sacred word that you will hear on every corner of the island: dushi. To a visitor, dushi is a simple adjective meaning sweet, nice, or beloved. But to those who live here, it is a way of being. It is the profound understanding that sweetness is not a passive gift from a gentle landscape. On an island of salt, oil, and thorns, Douche is something you must actively extract. It is the sweetness distilled from a bitter, mutated orange. It is the light glowing through a wall of hostile thorns. It is a community of diverse voices, united under a shared language born in the shadows of slavery. It is the realization that home is not merely a place where life is easy. It is the place where you have survived, adapted, and learned to flourish against all odds. Our exploration of Curaçao draws to a close, but the questions it raises linger far beyond its sunny shores. In many ways, the story of this island is a reflection of a larger global tapestry, a testament to the diverse ways humanity carves out existence in the most challenging environments on our planet. When we look across the globe, from the wind-swept volcanic cliffs of the Faroe Islands to the hidden valleys of Afghanistan or the remote tropical shorelines of Okinawa, we see the same fundamental truth. Humans do not merely occupy geographic spaces, we transform them, adapting our languages, our tools, and our very souls to match the terrain beneath our feet. Curaçao is a masterpiece of this human transformation. It is a place where a barren desert rock was forced to bloom, where a floating bridge became a city's lifeline, and where a language born in the darkness of chains became a national treasure. As you watch the sun set over the historic harbor of Willemstad, casting a golden glow over the colored Dutch facades, you realize that the beauty of this place is inseparable from its history of struggle. The vibrant pinks and yellows are a defiance against the parched earth and the heavy scars of the past. The sweet blue liqueur is the distilled essence of a bitter orange that adapted to survive. And the people of Curaçao carry this legacy in every step they take across the swinging planks of the Queen Emma Bridge, and in every melodic word of Papiamentu they speak. They have shown the world that survival is about having the creativity to make a difficult place beautiful. This brings us back to the question we asked at the very beginning of our journey. What does it truly mean to belong to a place? Is home merely the coordinate where you were born, or is it the landscape you have labored over and transformed with your own hands? When you look at the silent, rusted columns of the old oil refinery standing next to the pristine depths of the Blue Edge, you see the complicated and sometimes painful reality of human progress. It is a reminder that our relationship with the earth is never simple, but always sacred. Now, it is your turn to join the conversation. If you could travel to any of the remote corners of the earth we have touched upon today, whether to wander the historic, colorful streets of Willemstad, dive into the marine drop-offs of the Caribbean, or explore the rugged hills of Bandaboo, where would your spirit take you first? And what is the bitter orange in your own life that you are currently trying to turn into something sweet? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. We read every single comment, and your unique voices are what make this community of global explorers so special. If this deep dive into the heart of Curaçao has changed the way you see the Caribbean, and if you want to help us continue documenting the world's most fascinating, untold stories, please hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Vast Earth. By subscribing and turning on notifications, you become an active part of our mission to uncover the deep, hidden layers of our planet. Our journey does not end here. Next week, we are leaving the dry shores of the Caribbean to embark on our most daring expedition yet. We are traveling deep into the geographical center of South America, to a mysterious landlocked nation famously described by its greatest writer as an island surrounded by land. A place where homes have no doorbells and visitors must clap their hands to announce their arrival. A country with no coastline that somehow maintains the largest navy of any landlocked nation on Earth. and a vast, forbidding wilderness known as the Green Hell, where thousands perished fighting a brutal war over oil reserves that did not even exist. This is a story of fierce bilingual pride, hidden secrets, and an unconquerable national spirit. Make sure to subscribe to Vast Earth and turn on notifications so you are the very first to watch our next episode the moment it drops. Thank you for traveling with us today. Until our next expedition, keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, the most extraordinary communities on Earth are always the ones the world had to work hardest to reach.